Having grown up in East Tennessee, the Smokies was a weekend destination for my family. We would pack a lunch, drive up and spend the day looking at the scenery and playing in the creek. Of course, we would always see bears. Years later, I would never have thought that I would be creating sculptures of these majestic animals. Bears have a powerful yet unassuming nature about them that intrigues people. My love of animals, whether wild or domestic, are the essence of my body of work. So, of course, when I thought about donating a piece to Aramont, the first thing that came to mind was one of my bear sculptures. Although somewhat non-traditional in design and form, my bear sculptures complement the beauty of the mountains and Aramont. And I hope that whoever receives this has a lasting memory of our area.
Hi, I'm Rachel Mccampbell, and I'm a painter in Middle Tennessee outside Nashville. I am donating a painting this year to Aramont's fundraiser, and I want to share it with you. It's called Strength Prevails, and it is an oil and cold wax medium painting on wood panel. And the reason I chose a barn was, to me, it represents the quintessential Tennessee image. You know, the old country barn you see off the interstate or off a country road or down a lane, and there it is, you know, oftentimes red, sometimes not, but with an old tin roof, and there's nothing like being inside a barn with an old tin roof and listening to the rain. I know I had that as a child growing up on a farm in East Tennessee, and it's a great memory. So to me, I just had to paint an old barn. And of course, they're often very country and rustic and not well kept, and the weeds are growing around, and you know, it's just got a natural look to it. And yet I have the telephone pole and telephone wires reminding us of the interconnectivity between the nature, the countryside, and the urban life, and their interdependency on each other, and the importance of that. So I hope you like this painting, and I hope you'll bid on it, and bid a lot. Buy lots of art and support Aramont and all the great things they do. I'm so happy to be able to support Aramont in this way. So good luck, Aramont, and I hope you do really well on your fundraiser, and I hope this barn helps you raise lots of money. Thank you.
Hi from Arizona. My name is Elizabeth Odiorn, and I'm happy to have made a piece for Meet the Artists 2020. The piece that I made is a dyed and screen printed silk shawl. I made this piece on a beautiful silk georgette that drapes really nicely. I used a bound resist dye method using multiple dye baths of fiber reactive dye. I used one of my hand-drawn motifs to screen print using a chemical that removes the color from the fabric. I wanted this wearable piece of art to be a fun statement piece that you could wear year-round.
Well, my name is Victoria Walker, and I'm a fiber artist, and I live in Sevier County, and I have a small studio just outside my house, and I volunteer at Aeromont, and over the years I've been asked a couple of times to do some handwork for Aeromont, and I received a call from Bill Griffith that they had a piece of silk that needed to be hand hemmed, and so he brought this to me, and it is a beautifully done hand-dyed piece of silk, and I am rolling what's called a handkerchief hem, which entails, for me, a magnifying glass and a lot of light, and stitches of about 1/4 of an inch. So that's what I'm doing, and so far it's coming out quite well. There's nothing like a piece of silk. I mean, silk is just like the ultimate luxury fiber, and this is a silk chiffon, and it feels like heaven. And it drapes and it clings to the body, and it just makes you feel so good to handle it, to wear it. Fiber is a tactile thing anyway, and so this is a joy to work on.
Thank you for your support, and I can't wait for us all to be together again in person at Aeromont in the future.
Hi, I am Margaret Warsham. I am from Denmark and have been in the States for 25 years. I was invited to be part of Aeromont, and I'm super excited, and I was invited to make a painting for this auction. And this year I am making a nude. I love painting. I do not have a specific space in my house where I paint, so mostly I paint in my kitchen. And I love it. I have music going, and I'm thinking about actually a lot of Italian marble, because they have such a beautiful texture, and that's what I actually try to create. And then on top of that, the silhouette of the female. I love it where I can do suggestive lines, and that's what I do with my nude pictures. And I mostly paint just for fundraisers, for different organizations, and of course my beloved Aeromont. So I hope that the bidding will go well and that everybody will participate and have a fabulous evening.
Hi everyone, my name is Sam Chung, and this teapot is from a body of work called Calligraffiti. And this was a transitional body of work that I did a little over 10 years ago. And I say it's transitional because it happened during a time where I was sort of moving away from doing a lot of soda firing with my work and letting the sodium and the glaze sort of speak for the surfaces of my work. And I was approaching my surfaces much more deliberately with China paint, which is what I was exploring at the time. So China paint allowed me to basically embellish the surface with specific design and be more deliberate in my mark making. So in particular, I was looking at the beauty of script, and in particular Islamic script and graffiti or street art, and thinking about how those two had such a beautiful kind of quality in and of themselves. But I was fascinated with how they came from two totally different cultures and two totally different time periods, but I wanted to try to bring their beauty together in this body of work and in this teapot. So this is from that series. And of course, the teapot is something I'd been making for a long time and really interested in the function and the design of this very, very complicated but sculptural pottery form. So this piece is made all with slab construction and designed. This is a one-of-a-kind, so it's designed with templates, paper templates that I've customized for this form and assembled everything together with paper templates. So I hope you enjoy the form, and I hope you bid on this piece. Thank you.
So I'm donating something for Airmont that is a little different, but I'm excited about. Okay, so this piece is utilitarian in nature. I kind of wanted to splice utilitarian concerns with sculptural concerns within a piece. And it's still, to make pots is a very therapeutic aspect for me, although my practice does not rely on that much anymore. So this piece is, the body of this is thrown in a cylinder without a bottom and with a completely closed top. So when it gets to a certain stage, I paddled it into the shape that I want roughly, and then I'll let it dry some more, and then I will sure form this down to a really precise thin shell so that I can add the feet, and then I will add the figure to the top. I'll cut out the lid, add clay to it, and then I can sculpt this figure from a solid piece in a reductive mode, which is opposite of how I usually build larger sculptures, which is additive. I'm adding clay and pushing clay. This is a block of clay that I am whittling down with tools, and it gives a different aesthetic and feel to it. It's more of a figure study, historical, classical figure study. I'm definitely excited about moving forward, developing this idea more. And there's also a key that you can kind of see that keys in, you'll know which way the orientation of the lid goes since it's not round. And I gave lots of thought to the typical height of mantles. So the angle of his head will be complementary of where this meets. To get a little geeky on this, when you're doing a figure, thinking about lines of sight, so that when this sits on a table, you've got an implied line of sight that creates a triangle, therefore taking ownership of this space that is outside the object. And I find that stuff interesting, how this works in the whole. So, or you can put your favorite little cup here and he can be looking, contemplating that cup as it sits next to it. The possibilities are unlimited. Yeah, I like that. I think it's fun. And I'm glad I could donate something to Airmont. Like, it was very super meaningful. It will always be home, you know.